Hey, the high probability is the death penalty, and the small probability is the death sentence with a reprieve. But even with a reprieve, his life is over. Xiaofeng sighed. Aunt Lena also learned about the news just now. She seemed to be very injured and locked herself in the room and didn't want to come out. Seeing this, Charlie felt a little distressed for Aunt Lena. Regardless of whether these children grow up, they are good or bad, but these children are brought up by Aunt Lena. Everyone is like her child, and she lost 2 children today. Charlie, who had not spoken all the time, said in the group at this time, "Xiaofeng, do you want us to see Aunt Lena?" Xiaofeng said, "No need, Charlie, let Aunt Lena be quiet for a while." "All right." Charlie couldn't help sighing. He did not expect that Zhao Zhou would end in such a way. Although this person is annoying, he is really pitiful. Most of the time why people are fooled is because they are greedy. Therefore, he shut down all WeChat accounts of the orphanage, and today he no longer wants to hear related information. At this moment, the worst family in the world is the Wu family. The Wu family was scolded as a dead dog on the internet, and was frantically condemned by netizens across China. The scolding became more and more intense, and there was no intention to stop. More importantly, the fact that they spent money to find the PR managers was completely exposed. This is just worse, and the people of the whole country hate the Wu family even more. The old master of the Wu family, his whole being angry, almost lost his breath. He took a big rescue measure to save his life, but he was already in a deep coma. Yakina, Regnar's wife, was emotionally broken because she learned that her younger brother and his wife were dead, and that his family was dead. She smashed everything that could be smashed in the room. Regnar didn't have the time to manage Yakina at this time. At this time, instead of feeling sorry for her, who was emotionally broken, he hated her very much. Because if it weren't for her, if it wasn't her D*MN brother, how could the Wu family encounter such a big credibility crisis? It doesn't matter if this damn Nanshan is dead, it is very likely that the Wu family will lose more than half of their assets. In that case, the Wu family will no longer be the first family in the region. Moreover, the nature of this incident is really too bad. It is estimated that the people of the whole country will never forget this incident for a while, so for a long time to come, the Wu family will become hateful dogs in this world. Worse still, the Wu family's business will definitely be affected very far-reaching. It is possible that for a long time to come, the Wu family's assets will continue to shrink. It is very likely that the Wu family will be reduced to a second-rate family. The saddest thing is that Regnar has nothing to do with this. He was already exhausted. Because the most feared thing is to incite the anger of the people. If one day the Wade family also had a scum, and the people across the country hated it, then the Wade family would not be able to recover. Therefore, at this moment, the helms of large families across the country sighed deep in their hearts. We must keep in mind the mistakes and lessons learned by the Wu family this time. Today's Wu family has done a great job to all large families across the country. At this moment, Regnar has given up his reputation for saving the Wu family. He is full of resentment now, and only thinks about one thing, which is to seek revenge on Charlie. Roger ran over to him and said, "Dad, the 8 heavenly kings have replied. They said they only obeyed Grandpa's arrangements, and other people's orders were useless to them." Regnar hurriedly asked, "Did the doctor say when your grandpa can wake up?" Roger shook his head. The doctor said that he couldn't judge for a while. Grandpa had a serious stroke this time. Regnar frowned. "If the 8 great heavenly kings do not come out, I am afraid that I will not be able to snatch the father and son back from Changbai Mountain." Roger said, "But we continue to wait like this, I don't know when Grandpa will wake up." After that, Roger said again, "In my opinion, let's send some second-rate masters to try it out first. We will send a few more people this time." Regnar thought for a moment, then lightly nodded and said, "It's not a way to wait. If that's the case, send someone there first." Roger said at this time, "Dad, actually I don't quite understand why you are looking for these enemies of Charlie. In my opinion, these people are all rags. How can you expect them to kill Charlie?" Regnar said indifferently, "Last time we underestimated the enemy, so we suffered such a big loss. This time, we must first stabilize and observe for a while later, first find some cannon fodder, and help us test." After speaking, Ragnar said again, "The two armies should not expose their main force in advance. Instead, they should find some cannon fodder and go to the opponent's position to test it. Once the opponent fires, we can find the opponent's firepower point. Then we will unplug the opponent's firepower point, so that if the army is overwhelmed, the opponent will undoubtedly die. Otherwise, if we send the main force directly, what if we are destroyed by the opponent's firepower first? Wouldn't we be taken away by a wave?" Roger nodded. "Dad, I understand what you mean." Ragnar hummed, and said, "Since you are looking for cannon fodder, you must find someone who has hatred with the other party. Because of this cannon fodder, he will be desperate and dash forward, not afraid of death. The families Horiah who was sent to the black coal kiln, Fredman who couldn't do anything, and even those who had been beaten in the face by Charlie before, are all excellent candidates for cannon fodder." After that, he asked Roger, "Have the people who are meant to save Horiah set off?" Roger hurriedly said, "They have set off."